Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hot Pursuit presents the Press Junket. With me, as always, is my good friend, John Windmuller.
Hello there.
And we have special guests from Liverpool, England. We have Emma Bird, and she is here and going to be performing this Press Junket with us. As you can see, she will be playing the role of Roberta Bobbins, famed film critic and reporter from the BBC, because this show that we do is a improvised press junket for an action movie that doesn't exist. Through the course of the interview, you will see us talk about the movie that we've recently starred in. We will ask questions. We may reenact scenes. Who knows what's going to happen? But you'll have to trust us that everything has been made up completely on the spot. We prepared nothing. I only met Emma like 7 minutes ago, so we didn't have time to prepare. But other than that, everything is completely made up. And without further ado, we are going to get to Hot Pursuit presents the Press Junket.
Thank you so much, Andrew and John, for joining us here on BBC Arts Night. I, of course, I'm a huge fan of yours. Although, caveat, I'm not a huge action film buff. But I'm willing to learn from you, and delighted that you could speak with me today about your latest release. So can you tell me, when did you wrap?
I believe, honestly, I was surprised to be in a vehicle with rap, but this guy over here, Andy, really convinced me to do that. And I just want to say, Roberta, we're fans as well. I think
huge fans.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that really attracted us to this as a vehicle was that I think this is where we finally get interviewed by Roberta for it. But sorry.
I hate to say that was one of the goals, but it's action movies, it's dumb, it's popcorn fodder. It's, you go to the movies and you see whatever, and it's, it doesn't stick with you. It's not high art, usually. But, I think that maybe this time they'll show that, there is a lot of work that goes into those big set pieces and everything. And we just finished the movie about 6 months ago. We just finished reshoots in the last couple of weeks. It's called splicing it wet because they're just about it's still being edited, and it's just hitting the festival circuit now, and it's just starting to get some buzz and everything before we have our big summer release. So we're really excited about what we've done, and I'm gonna try to stop myself from gushing through this interview, Roberta, because we used to get this on the PBS affiliate growing up, and your predecessor, Reginald Voss, I saw him, and then you just surpassed everything he did, and so it's an honor to be on BBC Arts Night.
And to answer, I'm sorry we had to get that out, but to answer the question, Andy here was really the one. It wasn't originally going to have rap in it, but we were just sitting in the back lot, and I'm just like, and then Andy just started laying down these really slick rhymes, and the director heard that, and it went from there.
Yeah, and we just it seemed like any time that we had a moment of silence in the film, those sort of the big explosions, the big set pieces, I would just spit a verse or two, and that's sort of how we did it. I'm no Lin-Manuel Miranda, but well,
but who is? Of course, but anyway, it's not usually my genre. Action nor rap, in fact, is not normally my genre at all. But I was very intrigued that your movie Tunnel Escape did in fact feature rap, particularly. In fact, I was particularly impressed with the escape scene from the tunnel, and I know that at the end of that moment, you rapped beautifully about freedom and how amazing it was to be free. But I imagine that was a difficult scene to film in the tunnel, because you were in the dark for practically, that scene itself was about 15 minutes and you were practically in the dark.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, the director tried to create, almost everything was done practical effects in camera. There wasn't a lot of CGI. So when we were, it wasn't like they darkened the footage later with color grading or anything like that. We were in the dark tunnel. We broke out, and then there was the freestyling afterwards, and it was different every take. I've seen a few different cuts with a few different raps in them, so I don't even know which one is ultimately. I don't know which one you saw even, but yeah, it was a wild experience, just really getting pushed like that as an actor.
Yeah, the scene title was titled "Hark, It's Dark," and I remember that usually in these types of things, you'd have the set lit, and you just do that in post. It's actually a simple post thing, but Timothy Hitter, the director, really was very much about the method approach, and so kept us in complete darkness. And I don't know if I was going to share this. He demanded that Andy and I both perform naked for the scene. Well, it doesn't appear in the film. It's pitch black. You don't know, but I think it comes across.
What did you feel that added to that scene?
Vulnerability, in a word. Just, you never know what's gonna. It was dark on the set. What didn't feel exploitive at all. I want to really point that out. It was to really get to that vulnerability. and just really just show that we were in a dangerous situation, to help us feel that danger a little bit. Because I mean, when are you more vulnerable than when you're, you know, completely naked in a completely dark room, filled with who knows what, you know, rats, a bird.
Well, the water was filling up rather rapidly, wasn't it, in the scene? I mean, I'm assuming they chlorinated the water, and it was.
Oh no, they didn't. Not even a little bit.
Right.
Not even. No, that was actual sewage. It was quite gross. We had to go through an extensive regimen of shots before the movie started. I was curious. I was like, we're filming, you know, mostly in the States, where, you know, we don't have to worry about, you know, malaria or anything like that. But the director said, like, no, you're going to need these shots. But again, didn't feel exploitive. You know, despite the very seemingly real danger, I felt safe and dangerously safe.
Roberta, I'm curious. Someone who doesn't often sort of step in this milieu, I think a lot of people were shocked about how we escaped. That wasn't something they saw. And I'm curious, like, was it still surprising to you? And again, really, we're giving full permission, so don't worry about spoilers. You're welcome to yeah.
Well, I thought it was rather inventive, in actual fact. The fact that you found skateboards down there in the tunnel and just zoomed through this tunnel into freedom and then rapped about it. I mean, that was extraordinary. And I suppose I was expecting hammer and chisel and, you know, sweat and tears, but literally you just skated out of there.
It was, and it took a lot of training on the skateboards. And there, Andy, I remember one of my favorite lines came from you. It started like we're on the skateboards, and I remember it was like it's like we're running on trucks, because skateboards are on that.
The wheels are called trucks, yeah.
Yeah, how did that end? We're running on trucks. The bad guys behind us.
I'm giving zero fucks.
Yes, we'll edit that out. Don't worry.
Okay.
Well, sorry. Yeah, of course.
Pre-watershed.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's an R-rated movie, so, you know, apologies, but, you know, authenticity.
Yes, and I mean, would you say? I mean, you two have worked together for an awfully long time. I mean, you are one of the most popularly paired action movie stars. You've done a trilogy recently, culminating in Tunnel Escape, this one. So the two previous, just remind me of their names. The first one was
Box Escape, where we escaped from a box. That's
right. And you escaped from the box using roller skates, and I was quite, again, impressed.
Well, yeah, you know, roller skates are attached to your feet, so, you know, the risk of falling is different. Whereas the skateboard, you know, you're using, you know, centrifugal force and gravity and everything. So I just thought a natural progression from Box Escape to go to Tunnel Escape with the skateboards. Plus, you know, with the tunnel, you can kind of do the loops and the fun tricks and everything. And, you know, granted, we did have some stuntmen for some of the more impressive tricks, but a lot of it we did ourselves.
Yes, I was going to come to that in a moment. I just wanted to recap on the middle.
Escape the Audi. We've been accused of selling out on that, and there was corporate sponsorship, so I want to acknowledge that for our fans. But, you know, I think people often focus on what we're escaping, and it's true that art really takes from constraints. But at the end of the day, at least for me, that these have all had an existential message, that it's not really escaping the location as much as is sort of our own ways that we constrain ourselves and toxic relationships and beliefs that hold us back.
I really admired the central message in the trilogy. I completely understood that was in fact the message of those films, and in a way, it broke new mold for action movies to be so existential and philosophical. In fact, your director, Timothy Hitter, said he was in fact influenced by Sartre. Did you do much existentialist research along with your stunts and whatnot, training? But existentialism, did you have to read up on that much?
Actually, it's funny because people don't know. Like, they often sort of just assume that Andy and I met on the stage, but actually we met. We were all but dissertation at the University of Michigan, studying philosophy, and we were just very drunk one night, and sort of looking at the academic market and the way it had become really exploitative, we felt. And both of us were struggling on the dissertation front. And so it really just became a lark. It's like, what if we did, effing, I don't want to violate again, action movies. And it kind of just went from there. And we had a box handy. Timothy was our neighbor. And,
he was in film school at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we did like a student film that ended up basically sort of getting extended to Escape the Box.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'll admit we did sell out a little bit with Escape the Audi. But I feel like we got back to, what it's all about with Tunnel Escape, because, we're escaping these confined places, but the tunnel, I mean, that could go on for miles. Who knows how big the tunnel is? How are you going to get out? Are you going to get out? These are the questions. Granted, they're on the poster for the movie, Tunnel Escape. How are they going to get out? Are they going to get out? Spoilers, there might be a part 4, but and then, with this one, we just thought, just rapping might be just something a little different, Well,
it really was. I mean, you've broken the mold 100%. I mean, I've never seen an action movie with rap in it. So, nor have I ever seen an action movie that was in fact existential, and really tackled the true meaning of life, existence, and the concept of freedom.
I'm so glad you said that, because I feel that particularly in the second movie, with all the charges of selling out, that I actually think that had some of our most poignant scenes about the way that we're sort of trapped in our own cycles. And since you mentioned, I just wondering, we weren't able to bring clips, but Roberta, I know that a lot of folks often say, like, our critics are those who can't act, but I've seen some of your work and you're marvelous. And I would just, I hate to impose on the two of you, but if you could, just the two of you, if you remember the scene in the Audi when the power locks, when the switch stopped working, but of course it was more than that. If just, Roberta, if you could play my part, that would be a little bit of a dream of mine, just to do a little bit of that.
Oh my goodness!
Right. I'll set up the scene. The two of you are in the Audi. Roberta, as me, you're in the driver's seat. Andy is in the passenger seat. He's just attempted to do the moonroof, and then you turn to each other, and I feel like the film really comes to this brief dialogue between you two.
Wait,
Yo, buddy.
What?
Say what?
Are the child locks still on? Is that why we haven't been able to get out? Did someone not undo the child locks? Is that all it's been this whole time?
Man, let me talk to you about child locks. I don't believe in that shit. Child locks are for kids, man. We're grown men. We don't need no child locks.
That's what I'm saying. I know we don't need child locks, but are they engaged? Is that why we're still trapped in this incredibly comfortable Audi with excellent air conditioning and heated seats, which creates a weird sort of dichotomy of warmth and cool, and is available later on this year?
Let me tell you why we're still stuck in this fucking Audi. I'll tell you why. Because we don't belong out there, buddy. We don't belong out there until we figured out our own demons.
Oh my!
We gotta work it out in this here Audi.
That's amazing.
Just
wow.
Thank you.
So sorry. I totally didn't a huge disservice, John, because you're a marvelous actor.
No, I could hear the lines. I was doing it as you were doing it. I just feeling like, I am glad that Roberta didn't read for the part, because I don't think I would have gotten it otherwise.
Oh. Honestly, I mean, I'm kind of upset that you didn't read for the part. That was amazing. That felt, wow. That was an honor. Yeah.
Really, the honor's mine. I gave up acting a long time ago and much prefer to review and criticize and talk about the meaning, deeper meaning within films. And we've touched upon existentialism in the trilogy. I just want to think about perhaps your the final moment there in Tunnel Escape, when you finally reach your freedom. That was a difficult shoot, I hear. The last couple of weeks there was some issues with stunts and accidents on set. Perhaps if it's not we could talk about the accident.
We had been kept in almost complete darkness for the entirety of the shoot. So needless to say, our visual acuity, not being used to the light and everything, our stunt doubles, that we didn't use much, but, they were there. They all had, night vision goggles to be able to see to enact some of the more complex stunts. But when we finally get to the end of the tunnel and step out into the light, I had damaged retinas from that, where I had to actually wear special lenses for several weeks as my eyes readjusted to sort of the regular world. Hopefully it pays off on the screen. So, that squinting and the blocking and everything that I do, and the scream of pain in that scene, that was all real. That wasn't even acting. I hate to say it, but that's was genuine anguish that I was experiencing. But it wasn't exploitive.
No, not
very, very safe the whole time. Didn't feel like I was being taken advantage of or anything.
It was incredibly visceral, Andy. I mean, we really felt it as audience. We felt your pain in that moment there. And of course, John, you had an unfortunate accident off of the skateboard. Once again, I assume because it was difficult for you to see.
And I'm not a very accomplished skateboarder. So between the blindness and my sort of, attempt to balance, the board kicked out from under me, hit the stunt double, which felt terrible. Jeff, in a moment that perhaps not professional, but is understandable as a human, threw the board back at me. And normally you duck, but of course I'm blind. And so hit the chin there, and lost about 3 teeth in the process. But it was worth it.
It was worth it because the climax of that movie was incredible. I mean, it was so moving. Go ahead.
I remember, because it's really me that I remember that that Andy just in that his character just looked up and just said, it's so bright. I know I'm blind. Right. And then a million rhymes come to that. But then at one of the few points in the film where we abandon that, and I just turn and say, but now we see. And
yes.
Credits.
Yes. The tears. This is another extraordinary thing that you both and the director Timothy Hitter have really struck on this trilogy is not only is it genre bending, it's mind bending and emotionally moving. It's quite extraordinary. Do you have plans to work with Timothy again on another movie? Is there going to be more of the trilogy, or a totally different thing for you two?
We probably Andy, if you'll help me complete this rap. I don't want to give too much away.
But we're going to be coming back to this tunnel another day.
You may think that it's another sequel, but
it's the same movie, just part 2. What?
Well, bravo. I mean, bravo. And would I be right in saying that was a world exclusive?
No, this is just for you. This is a BBC Arts Night exclusive. So yeah, you got first.
Well, I'm honoured, and but of course I was wondering, there is going to be a sequel, and is that a world exclusive for Arts Night BBC?
Oh yeah, no, this Escape the Tunnel 2, Back in the Tunnel, is coming out. You know, we're shooting it. We're actually on just a quick break from shooting, and yeah, it's we realized that like after escaping the tunnel that we left something behind, ourselves.
And if that isn't existential, what is?
Stunning. We need to get back. This has been a pleasure, and I just want to say,
and a joy.
I know I speak for Annie and I both that you would be welcome on the set any day. So I just.
If you want to do a set visit, do an episode of Arts Night, BBC Arts Night, right, live from the set.
Right. Or you want to get in the Audi, you know, and just like so.
Well, I would be honoured. It would be an absolute privilege and to visit you on set. And I absolutely can't wait for the sequel. Get Back in the Tunnel. That's extraordinary. Thank you so much for your time today, Andy and John. It's been an absolute pleasure, and everybody at the BBC and our viewers here in the UK. Thrilled to have been speaking to you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And that's our show. We did it.
I want to give an enormous thank you to Emma Bird, coming all the way from Liverpool for this. Emma, would you... I should mention I met Emma originally on the Liverpool Comedy Improv on Facebook, has regular activities, and I just started jumping in the Tuesday advanced ones, and it's one of the highlights of the week when I'm able to do that. So I'll do a start. I'm about to ask you to do a plug, but I'll add that in there. But let folks know more about what you're up to and where they can find you.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. Firstly, thanks for asking me to play with you guys. That was super good fun. That was ace. I really enjoyed it. So thank you. People can find me at Liverpool Comedy Improv. So that's across all platforms, social media platforms, at Liverpool Comedy Improv. And so, I teach a few times a week, both sort of all levels, drop in, just short form fun, great for well-being and social connection in these times. And also the advanced class as well for long form. Keep your reps in, keep honing those long form skills. So that's every week. And I'm also doing some really cool collaborations like this. My team is called Boss Birds Improv, and it's a women's team that I set up in Liverpool. And we are just working on a Women of Improv Worldwide project, whereby we collaborate with women improvisers or all women teams right across the world, and we do jams and shows. So Boss Birds Improv is where you can check out the worldwide women improv project. I'm doing a great collaboration with Mischief in Action, who are a great comedy improv team based in Mumbai. So myself and Mischief in Action and Broken Chair Improv, which is another Liverpool team, we're doing like an international collaboration on Sunday, and it's a free show. It's at 4 p.m. UK time, and I think that's 8:30 Indian Standard Time. I have no idea what time that is in your big continent.
10 a.m.
But probably multiple.
10 a.m. Eastern? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And all donations from that show go to mental health charities in India and in the UK. So that's like a collaboration that's coming up. And I've also got the Boss Birds are collaborating with the Adam and Eves as well, which is another it's another team based in India, but they're an all-women team as well. So like we're just like, this is the amazing thing about online, is like I get to work with people like you guys and play with people all over the world and make connections, and isn't that what improv's all about? Play and make connections. So yeah.
I also really appreciate one thing you've done with Liverpool Improv. It's important to say, like, we're two white guys doing improv, which there's way enough of. And one of the things I really love that you've done is really work towards representation, that when you brought in guest instructors and things like that, both women in improv, but also folks from all sorts of ethnicities and groups that are really underrepresented in the art form. And it's wonderful. And so.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that was, something that I felt pretty powerless. And I mean, I am a pretty powerless person in many ways. And then I just thought, well, hang on, what can I do to be a better ally with Black Lives Matter? And how can I make the community that I'm in different to what it has been? And so, yeah, the guest takeover teacher series, it's all about raising the visibility of Black and people of color improvisers. For me, that's like, it's really important. So we've had some great guest teachers so far, super skilled. We've got a couple of others coming up as well over the next couple of months. So yeah, it's just an absolute honor to have them guest teach in Liverpool. Yeah. Terrific. But yeah, so all the info will be on Liverpool Comedy Improv Facebook page. So yeah, check that out. And thank you once again for asking me.
Thank you for doing the show.
Andy, do you want to do the plug for us for the? I think it's just, hey, we do this show. So if you're watching this,
Hot Pursuit, we do the show. If you like it, we're going to be doing more. Stay tuned. Follow us on Facebook, which is probably how you found us. So tell your friends to follow us on Facebook, so more people follow us, and then. Yeah, we're going to keep putting on great content and keep having amazing guests like Emma. And it's a good time. And it's a good release. And yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Thank you all so much. See you on the next Hot Pursuit show.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you.
All right. And this will stop the video.